As a huge believer of crypto and blockchain and tokenization, I want the SEC to rapidly approve the tokenization of bonds and stocks.
RWAs, or real world assets, are probably the hottest trend in crypto right now. The RWA sector went up by 10% over the last 24 hours, which brings its market cap now above $40 billion. Over $17 billion flowed into the RWA sector over the course of the last month or the last 30 days. However, as much as that's, nice at a micro level in terms of something worth celebrating, projections for 2030, 5 years from now, range between 10 and $30 trillion. We're talking orders of magnitude bigger as a market, as an industry, in just 5 years. Larry Fink is also a big believer in RWAs. Of course, he is BlackRock's CEO, BlackRock being the biggest investment firm in the world. And typically when these guys get into something, they don't tend to get things wrong. There's different reasons for that, and arguably it's because they are market makers themselves. But that aside, it's a very good indication that Larry Fink and BlackRock are into this space. As a result, institutions are already lining up to get into the hottest RWA projects because, of course, they don't want to get left behind. So without any further ado, we're looking at 4 of our favorite RWA crypto projects with the most potential to live up to those 2030 projections. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest, RWA or otherwise. I wish you genuinely very well. Just remember that I'm not a financial or investment advisor, which means by extension that this video is not official financial or investment advice. Let's begin here with a familiar favorite in the form of Ondo Finance, whose ticker is ONDO. We're looking here at the top project in the RWA sector. And I say that because, as I've been saying, it is fair to skip Chainlink and Stellar. Those are infrastructure plays. So yes, technically they're at the top of the real world assets charts, but it's kind of a hybrid project in both cases. If you are talking about a straight play in the RWA space, then Ondo does deserve to be called the leader. By the way, Ondo actually means wave in Esperanto, and Ondo's logo represents a wave. A little bit of trivia knowledge for you there. Stablecoins are currently also a pretty hot item in the United States, especially. Legislation for stablecoins is underway right now. The United States Treasury wrote a report about stablecoins and their relation to TradFi markets. Stablecoins do have the potential to reshape global demand for short-term treasuries. And in this report, the U.S. Treasury observed something about tokenized government securities. They can, quote, cater for investors' yield-seeking behavior in the digital assets ecosystem, and they have the ability to optimize their cost of capital with instant settlement, end quote. Now, of course, as it happens, Ondo is very active in this market with not only one USDY, but 2 stablecoins, the second being OUSD. Both of these are tokenized assets and backed by short-term US treasuries, but Ondo also has more in the pipeline. For example, there's the Ondo Bridge, which is already live. Currently, it connects Ethereum, Mantle, Arbitrum, and very recently, actually, also Solana. Then, of course, there's also the Ondo chain, which is upcoming. Their custom-build L1 POS RWA chain capable of handling all RWA-related functions. This includes multi-chain and compliant. Then, of course, we also have Ondo Global Markets in the pipeline, and this unlocks access to a much wider universe of tokenized U.S. securities, so things like stocks and ETFs, which may not be your jam in particular. That's fair, but this certainly broadens the potential for other retail consumers out there, those that occupy this space, more traditional finance, right? This is all a part of their Wall Street 2.0 initiative, and initially, this is not going to be available in the US, but we have to look at what's happening right now with regulatory and developmental changes. Very likely, this could at least be challenged in the future and could open up in terms of availability. Not right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if at one point in the future things change. The current price of ONDO right now sits above $1. It is up 4.6% on the day with a market cap of 3.3, nearly $3.4 billion. And this is still a great entry because if we look at its all-time high, that was above $2. Check out our recent and dedicated video on Ondo Finance. If you haven't already, I will link to that in the description below. Next up here, and at number 2, we're looking at Plume Network and their token PLUME. This This is next on our list of RWA projects. And in contrast to Ondo, which again is the top dog in RWA, Plume has a medium range market cap. It is sitting at just below $400 million at the time of this recording, whereas a moment ago we saw that Ondo was well above $3 billion. So a pretty big difference there. This is certainly, Plume that is certainly in the mid cap range of altcoins. And approximately we're looking at about an 8-fold difference. And as you know, that means that Plume is going to offer higher potential returns on any capital invested, but it's also a higher risk in terms of that investment. First things first, when it comes to Plume, their testnet is about to be retired, which actually means that Plume's mainnet is imminent now. Its launch could be later this month, possibly in June, but we can expect to see that very soon. And in support of that argument, we see the Plume Ecosystem X account, which just went live. And in all likelihood, nothing is guaranteed, of course, but once we do get that official announcement, in all likelihood, a pump will very likely follow. Binance has also listed Plume, Plume, however, only on the perpetuals market, not on the spot market, at least not yet. But at least this gives traders control over Plume's price action to a certain extent, if not complete control, at least partial control. Over the last couple of months, the Plume price action has kind of swung between 15 and 19 cents. We're up nearly 9% on the day, sitting just below 20 cents. So by the time you're watching this video, it's possible that we've broken out of that range, that 15 to 19 cent range that the price has been constrained to, with kind of that singular exception here, that spike that you see in the third week of March or so. For context, though, the all-time high was 24.75 cents, and we're slowly getting up to that range right now. At the height of this altcoin run and later on in this last leg of the bull cycle, I think it's entirely reasonable to expect a new all-time high for Plume. However, with all that being said, vesting is unfortunately an issue with Plume. Its foundation vesting started on day one, but investor vesting starts in July. This is kind of an unusual setup, and really for top-tier protocols, not very common. Nonetheless, though, the mainnet announcement and the next leg up of the bull run could level things out. Check out our recent video on 10x altcoins, which includes Plume, or you can also check out this deep dive here on Plume. I'll include both of those in the description below. If you are an American watching this video, I'm talking to you, because we found an exchange that gives you the best of both worlds. If you want to trade spot markets on over 400 trading pairs and without KYC, you can. If you want to trade perpetual markets on over 150 trading pairs with KYC, that, by the way, accepts Americans and Canadians too, by the way, then you can as well. The only exchange that we've seen in the market that lets you do both simple spot trading without KYC and perps trading with KYC that Americans can actually use is BuyDefi. And they have a great new promotion going on right now in which you can win a Rolex. BuyDefi gives you all the tools that you need without the crazy requirements. And right now that promotion means you can win some great prizes, again, including a Rolex. The promotion goes from now through June 6th, so you still have time to take part. After you sign up for your BuyDefi account, or log in if you have one already, here's what you have to do. If you trade at least $1,000 worth, then you get a $35 bonus credited to your account. But prizes move up from there and include AirPods, an iPad, a new iPhone 16, a cool Louis Vuitton backpack, and again, finally, a Rolex Submariner with a retail value of $10,000. Those are some sweet prizes for doing what you'd already likely be doing anyway, by trading on a tier 1 exchange like BuyDefi. If you haven't checked out BuyDefi yet, now is the time given these incentives. Just use the link below to sign up, don't KYC, and start trading to get your bonuses. The next RWA project on this list is Clearpool, ticker CPOOL, CPOOL. This is the first decentralized credit marketplace. However, instead of the standard lending known as over-collateralized, Clearpool offers under-collateralized lending. So Clearpool looks at how strong a given project is and if it's capable of paying back the loan. This is actually more in line with Web 2 lending protocols. Furthermore, it makes capital use more efficient. And so far, it has managed to generate over $784 million in loans. And then in addition, Clearpool has also launched Ocean. This is a layer 2 for RWA. It's compliant and you can earn native yield. So for example, it offers a unified compliance layer. This just makes sure that there's regulatory compliance all across the platform, which of course is important when it comes to onboarding institutions. That makes Ocean a great choice both for retail and institutions. And it also offers two different stablecoins. There's USDX. This is their native stablecoin and their gas token. Hex Trust actually issued this stablecoin. This is, of course, a well-established company in various parts of the world. And if you stake Cpool, one of the rewards is actually part of the revenue generated by USDX. Then there's also OZUSD, which is a yield-bearing stablecoin. It also has a rebase feature, which allows it to burn supply to maintain the price. You can lock USDX and receive OZUSD. Furthermore, Ozean has launched Port. This is the first RWA exchange-traded pool. Ozean also has a pre-deposit campaign going on. If you deposit specific assets, you earn droplets. And then once the mainnet launches, you can convert the droplets into Cpool. Some assets also have multipliers, by the way, so you may want to check this out. And if you want to deep dive further into Cpool, check out this recent video that we've published. I will include this as well in the description below. All right, and last but not least here at number 4, we do want to look at Polytrade, whose ticker is TRADE, TRADE. This is the last RWA project of the day. Now, with Ondo that we looked at first in this video, we had a relatively high market cap project that we were considering. And then both Plume and Clearpool are kind of in the mid-range in terms of market caps. However, with Polytrade here, we have a real RWA gem in our hands as a function of the market cap, if nothing else. We are looking here, as I record, at a $9.5 million market cap. Million. So higher risk, yes, but also much higher potential return. Polytrade offers an RWA marketplace, and this is where you can find tokenized assets, things like invoices, bonds, loans, collectibles, and also real estate and other categories as well. Polytrade seems to focus on real estate, and for good reason, right? There's $379 trillion worth of real estate globally. However, interestingly, and as they point out here, you can only find less than 0.01% of that on chain. Fractional ownership is one of the key features of RWA, as we know, and that just means you don't have to buy the whole house, for example. Instead, you can buy a fraction of it, however much you can afford. And this is the type of structure, these are the kinds of mechanisms that lend themselves really well to an asset class like real estate. In April 2024, the TRADE, TRADE token saw its all-time high as it stands right now at $3.03. But even though it's up nearly 8% on the day, the current price of TRADE is just below 23 cents. So we are still more than 10 times away from that previous all-time high. The total supply is 100 million tokens, of which 41 million are in circulation. TRADE does have a low trading volume, but that may change depending on how it fares in this last leg of the bull run. This is one that's, again, much higher risk on this list, but it's so small in terms of market cap. If you believe in this project, do your own research, of course, but after you do some of that legwork, come up with an opinion of yourself of Polytrade. We think it's doing good things. It's just a matter of if, when it catches on. But if that were to happen, again, lots and lots and lots of potential here.